Hi, I'm Susan Colquitt. I will be interviewing Mark Preston Milton today as he would like to showcase to you his experience and projects of what he brings to the technology industry. I have prepared some interview questions to help elaborate on his experience. How are you doing today, Mark?
I'm doing well.
Well then, are you ready to get started?
Sure.
Why don't you share with us a brief summary of your experience and what your experience has to offer to the technology world?
Okay. Well, basically I have over 13 years experience in the IT industry. I started back in about 1998. I've worked myself from basically as a computer operator up through a system and business analyst, and on into the project leader and some of the application interface engineering type work through some .NET architectures, as well as the system engineering environment, which has its own set of system engineering processes which go along with software development, system development, life cycles, and that kind of thing. And on up to the a technical lead position that I'm currently hold right now, and where I'm a leader of additional engineers, system engineers up under me, that we work on 3 enterprise level Air Force hardware projects that work from anywhere from computers to printers to cellular devices, which we standardize and secure and work that across an entire enterprise infrastructure. So, and then of course I have a lot more duties that goes along with that, as I'm an on-site manager as well for the contractor team that's there at the base where I'm stationed at as a contractor. So I think with all of my background and working at all the different levels of positions, that I truly understand what goes into each person's job and the capabilities that are required when you go and you want to set up and work on a $100 million acquisition project. Being able to work pretty much any position on that scale for that project. And I think that's what that and my leadership that I bring, and my mentoring abilities to bring other engineers into the fold and kind of teach them what we're doing, and working on these high-level enterprise acquisition strategies. I mean, we're talking $100 million projects that we saved a tremendous amount of money on for taxpayers and this and that. And we have a lot of success stories with that. But so primarily what I bring to the table is leadership with a strong technical background that's able to lead and manage and drive the project at hand.
Wow. With all that being said, based on your experience, tell me about a time when you had to plan and coordinate a project from start to finish.
Okay. Well, there's so many of those little stories throughout my experiences. I think the one that stands out, one of my most important ones, was when I was working a few years ago back with Colonial Bank. They before they went out of business, we had a online banking system that I was basically the application engineer / project leader manager on. One thing you have to note, in most of these technical jobs, you end up being you might be the engineer, but you might be the project leader, and you might be a project manager, and you just don't really know that. You don't have that official title, you just do the duties. So what they wanted, we was working on an online banking system, and for condo owners that have rentals down on the coast. And this system processed over $350 million a year worth of mortgages and stuff. But they wanted to give the owners a opportunity to pay by the credit cards. So they wanted a credit card application system built. And they gave us basically 8 weeks to do it. And a very small budget, but I had a team I had some .NET developers, and one thing we did, we helped facilitate the .NET architecture and bring that kind of into the fold with Colonial Bank. But we had some .NET developers, I had some database, really strong DBA guys, and some business analysts that kind of helped facilitate the interface and help me gather the requirements and put the pictures together, what the interfaces look like, and help me move the project through the concept of defining what your requirements are, to building a prototype, getting it to staging, getting it through testing, and then ultimately into production. But we met our deadline, and that included actually testing all the capabilities of the system, which it was really cool. It was really neat. It had a like your banking slip with your mortgage and house information. You could just take that code and type it right into the box, and it would retrieve your information and ask you for some security stuff, and you was able to process your mortgage payment using a credit card. So anyway, it was a great success, and Colonial Bank has recently went out of business. But after I left that position, from what I was told and going back on the internet looking, the credit card application was a success, and I was able to complete that project before I moved on.
Okay, well, so throughout your technology experience, what major challenges and problems did you encounter, and how did you execute them?
Okay, well, working at an enterprise level that I've been working at over the last 3 years, and sometimes it gets a little misconstrued of what an enterprise level in a project is. When we're talking enterprise level, I'm talking 500,000 users that could be spread worldwide. So the projects that I'm currently working on with hardware platforms, standardizing, securing, configurations and stuff like that, one change could affect 500,000 machines, or it could affect 50,000. It really depends on what the vendor proposed, or maybe the platform that we're talking about, because the way we strategize is for different platforms and stuff. But some of the things like that happens within the configuration, when you do the best you can with all your engineering help and all your security help and the distigs and the DoD stuff, and sometimes you just forget one setting that may end up causing somebody on the ground a problem, so like a printer platform. If we misinterpret some of the settings and then we deploy, the vendor puts it on their box, puts it in the field, the user struggles because the setting locks it down to the point that he can't access the box. So he has to go either physically reset all the settings and then reapply them, or some kind of configuration such as that change has to happen. So some of our configurations get, some of the settings get awful sometimes, and what we try to, fix it and get it back out to the field as soon as possible. But we've worked through a lot of those kind of processes. When you try to standardize an entire suite of products, there's a lot of moving parts within those configurations that have to be accounted for, and they have to work when they get to the field. And we have been successful so far to be able to fix what's breaking and get it fixed and get it back out and get the warfighters back in the game.